Is it on now?
Remember our searching? We'll do both.
You gotta do both. Do the uploads first. Uploads there. Live stream. Will you sort by or not?
Let's see. Yeah, and then hit sort by. Dara. Hey, Dara. Our sort by.
It took it a minute to show up.
Okay.
The live stream took a minute to show up.
So, the option. Scroll.
Just do the summary. Do the summary. Because I had
Do you have it going right now?
Yeah.
Now can you go back again to sort by? Yeah.
Yeah, just, I think we just give it a minute and it shows up. It took it really long last time
Okay.
for the option to show up.
Nice to meet you. Should we uninstall and install it again just so it's not it?
No.
It's not hard to install. It's not good.
Okay, you want to just refresh once?
Someone did that. Yeah, you've been there for a while. Oh my God.
Okay.
Why is this not working?
Uninstall and install. It takes just a second.
Try the sort. Try the sort.
Sort by. Try the sort by.
Because last time we did it started working.
We have two other doctors, Dr. Yates and Dr. Devon. Yeah, that's a broken blood vessel.
Try all. Try all and see.
That's what I'm going to do. All videos. That's going to be. And then.
That's us. That's us.
Why is it not getting like that? Oh, it's not streaming. Sorry.
All right.
Hey!
Hopefully we can find it next time. Where do I go to?
Just click OK.
So how far behind are
It says it's between.
we? We're you 15 seconds behind.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
And where do
That's the way
I?
it is every year. It's okay.
How do I?
All right.
So where do I go? Well, I guess we can leave it here.
Yeah, probably just leave this, and then I'll jump into this event on his phone. So,
Do we want to stop it now?
yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea, because you know what? I'll just edit this part.
Will you let us know once it's going clear? Start it up here. Make sure it's going live. Stephanie, you see the video? Signal me whenever you're ready. Do this one first. All right, welcome. Good to see you. How we doing, Lucas? That's going to work on the other one.
Okay. We're almost there.
While we're doing that, how are you? Good to see you. Let's just check in. Okay, right, so I'll hold on to you.
You're braver than I am.
To be in front of everybody, huh?